evening. I'm Olivia Turner here to give you your latest update. You may have heard from Itinerant Literate that everyone in publishing is expecting crazy delays in reprints this year. Knowing this, we've tried to increase our initial orders to anticipate what all you gorgeous folks will be interested in. But as awesome as we like to think we aren't always mind readers. So the news is, get your holiday orders in ASAP. We know it's barely even October, so here's where we can help. Check out our pre-orders page on the website to see some of the big titles we think you might like. If you don't see what you're looking for there, use our book request form to place special orders for what you think you need. And finally, if you don't have the gift list together quite yet, book some time with a bookseller or a book corg to get ideas and recommendations for everyone on your list. And now, on to what you're really here for. Spread the word.
Welcome to a very special episode of
Spread the Word!
Oh. Okay, so this is the first Spread the Word ever where we have read the same book.
The same one! Matrix by Lauren Groff,
Yes.
coming out this month in September. How would you describe this book in one word?
Sapphic.
Nuns.
She was looking at me. Rebellion. This book is based upon Marie de France and Eleanor of Aquitaine.
Okay.
And so I wanted to invoke somebody, and I did not have a nun's habit, but I did have a necklace that had chainmail. Because she and Marie de France went and fought in the Crusades.
She was a child crusader.
Mm-hmm.
And she had aunts who did
The ants were the
Oh,
best. Can we talk about the ants?
They were so
doing
epic.
flips from
Oh my god, all of them had
Yes.
a different weapon. It was like, what? It was
I
like...
was thinking the beginning of Wonder Woman with the...
Yes!
I loved how they
Oh,
were-
yeah,
Yes.
on the island!
Yes.
The, like, myth was that they were descended from fairies, and I was like, yeah.
That's
It's a
why
true thing. And they were like, oh, Marie, it sucks that you're ugly, but you're definitely a fairy.
That's true.
That's also what Eleanor says when she sends her to the nunnery. Is
Right.
She's like, you would flourish there and nowhere else. That reminded me a little bit of Jane Eyre, where they're always like, you're just
Yes.
so plain.
Yeah.
It's like, I was like, what did they mean plain? And someone, like an adult, had to be like, it means she was ugly.
Also, for some context, people who do not, maybe don't know of Marie de France or Eleanor,
of Aquitaine.
this would be 1189.
Medieval Britannia, because
Well,
they're
it's
really
some
Angleterre.
And they are in Inglaterre.
Angleterre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the French island.
Also, okay, another like tidbit for people who know vague bits of history. Eleanor of Aquitaine is the mother of Richard II, which was Richard the Lionhearted, which is also the mother of King John, who is what the Robin Hood evil king is based on. So are you catching up with us now?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry. We just like
That's
dove right
the
into
time
it.
frame
She's
we're
a
in.
complicated
Yes.
lady, and we've got some complicated situations.
She loved Richard the best, and she hated John, so you know where things went
God.
there. And you know what? Richard the Lionhearted died, and no one thought John was going to be king, and then he was, and he was like...
Like all the things.
But
Yeah.
none of this is what happens in the book. That's
No.
all just background.
In fact, it's
all of this
completely
takes place just in
irrelevant. But
this nunnery.
Yes. Okay,
that
so
Marie is sent
Marie
to.
de France.
A nunnery is where you send whores, and that is a Shakespearean
Abbey.
term, an abbey.
Mhm.
I just want people are gonna come for us
That's
if
true.
we say nunnery.
So Marie de France, her mother is raped by Eleanor's.
Yeah, Richard, right?
Her husband, Richard I.
No, Matilda's
Matilda's
husband.
son. No, Eleanor's.
She's raped by
No,
a
Matilda.
king
Matilda is her stepmother.
It's Matilda's son.
who was a king.
Yes.
Yes.
Which one?
I think Richard the
Pretty
First.
sure it's Richard the First.
So her mother is raped by him. Marie's mother dies.
Yeah.
And so Marie is very self-sufficient, very smart with numbers. She takes on her mother's estate for a while.
And impersonates her.
Impersonates her,
Yeah.
until she is caught in that, and she's there with her maidservant Cecily until they're caught out, and she has to go to court with Eleanor.
Lover.
Yes, Cecily. Yeah, there's the egg. Sorry,
The egg scene was like really difficult for Danielle.
she has to go into court with Eleanor, and eventually Eleanor tires of her, or so you assume, and just assumes that she can't marry her off, so she sends her to the abbey to become prioress. I mean, you have to think about, like, she's going from court to a super poor abbey where they're starving. So she is sent to the abbey, and at first she is just miserable because she is separated from Eleanor, and Eleanor is like her light. She's at the age where she has this like admiration for her, and she's just kind of like in awe, and then it turns into more than that. It is a sexual thing where she's just like having these feelings for her. Yeah. Because Eleanor is very much like her like ideal woman,
right?
It's
kind of crummy at the abbey, let's be real.
And she doesn't have any sense of religion.
It doesn't seem like the other women at the abbey, there's not, at least at the very beginning, it's not like there's a whole bunch of evidence that they have a whole bunch of faith either. They have a faith of a schedule and a faith of routine.
Yeah. And I mean, you come to learn that people get sent there just
because that's the only place to send them.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, like the people in like the higher ups, like the high level nuns definitely do.
Right.
But, like the novices and the novices. There's this great scene where it's like warrior nuns.
There's like, for some reason, the abbey comes under attack.
Yeah.
And they have to fortify against the attackers.
And they like kill pretty much everybody, and the people that they don't kill, they're like, we are merciful, we must take them back to the abbey and nurse them back to health. Meanwhile, the next sentence, the novices are like playing Judith with the head of some guy that's been decapitated. Yeah, so she gets there, she's feeling hopeless, she's feeling disconnected from Eleanor, and she's just hoping beyond hope. She like writes this like long ass poem to Eleanor,
which is
like,
real.
She just keeps,
and you can look it up. It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah, that's the only documentation that they have.
So much research went into this book. It's fascinating.
And we will gush about Lauren Groff at the end of this.
Right.
It's why we chose this, all three of us, because we love her.
The whole first, like, I don't know, year or two that she's there, she's thinking that she's going to get back to court. That's like her whole goal. But when the book gets really interesting is when she's like, I'm not getting back to court. I'm going to embrace this and be the best prioress that ever was.
Yeah.
And she like does a total top-down renovation of, she's like, okay, let's envision this as a business, as an organization.
Yes.
What do? We trim the fat, we give people jobs that they
we
actually
storm the house of the people who are not paying the rents.
Well, we do that first, yes.
Take the money.
Yes.
So
send them off the
she
land.
does this level of reformation of the business.
Also, the old prioress, her
Emma.
Emma. Her whole thing was like, I'm going to give tasks to the people that would most not fit this task,
like
and they will suffer the most.
Just based on how like humility
they
they
suffer.
were. Yeah.
Because it brings them closer to God. So she's like, Marie's talking about, she's like Sister Blah, whose sister was kicked in the head by a heifer, so now she milks cows. And we're like,
why would you make her milk cows?
Poor woman milking company, please don't kill me, please don't. It takes them forever to get their milk.
That's not enjoyable for her or the cow.
And it's not productive. They can't get their milk. The cow is anxious.
Yeah.
What's her face?
The woman is anxious.
It's so bad.
Everybody's just miserable. So
Marie comes in and really turns things around.
Marie's like, I'm going to go by their strengths and their talents and their skills, and I'm going to assign them accordingly.
Yes, it makes total sense.
So, I don't know. I thought this book was so, first of all, it's very, on the one hand, like, really, like, epic sounding, and, like, Lauren Groff's, like, voice of this is, like, so good. And on the other hand, so funny.
Yes.
And crass. And, like, very medieval. It's a really funny part where she's just, like, listening to the sounds of the abbey and is like, listen to all those nun farts. It's lovely.
The soft nun farts.
The
and
soft
the smell
nun
of feet.
Gross. The smell of feet.
So gross.
And then the one nun, Goda or something, is like, I think it's because we ate this for dinner.
And what's hilarious is these things are said in like the most eloquently beautiful way. So as we were saying, everybody has their occupation. So there's the Herbitrix, and she goes to her, and
for another problem.
Yes, she is shedding the curse of Eve, I believe, she goes.
Which is a great way to
menopause.
The curse of Eve.
And she is like, this is happening to me. I'm having like these hot flashes. I had to like jump in a pond. And the herbitrix is just like, well, you also probably have a lot of buildup of humors or things.
Sort of like a little graze of the face happens, and they both are like,
yeah, like there's like a touch.
So the only way we can do this is a laying on of hands.
Yes.
Basically, is what they go
Yes.
into.
then she goes and shuts the door.
Mm-hmm. So she gives Marie an orgasm and then reveals that she does this for the other nuns.
It's like letting the humors.
And it
But it was sort of the same mindset of like, this is still not sex. You're still like virginal for God. She was like, she does it for some of the other nuns, and she's like, some of them need it like up to twice a week, and some just twice a year.
Yeah, and she's like, I somehow knew that you would be one of the ones that would need it more frequently. And Marie's like, yes.
Glad you read that. Let's go.
Later on in the book too, when you talk about rebellion as your like word for it, you know, Marie then starts to take on the role of a confessor, which is no in the Catholic Church. Only a priest can do that. It's heresy. A lot of the other nuns even are like, you shouldn't be doing this, but she's like, this is our domain.
Who's to say that women can't do this? Where did you read this? Is
Right.
what she says to go to. When she's like, she starts like conducting mass, and then like it's like Waifwa like let out a cry and fell to the ground
Because she's so
Fucking
like,
reaction.
can't
so
handle it.
scandalized.
How dare you! It reminded me of like
And
Blanche
Waifwa, by the way,
Dubois.
is like ancient at this point. Like, who knows how
We
old
have no
she
idea.
is.
She's timeless. For all we know, Waifwa is God. So Lauren
Lauren
Groff
Groff.
saw her speak at Winter Institute, and one of the things that I was telling Julia the other night was, if you read her stuff, you would just be like, oh my god, this person would just be so lofty and up here.
Yeah.
So personable.
She is truly a delight.
She said that like one of the reasons she wanted to write this book was like it was after the 2016 election, and she was like, I just want to live in a world where there are only women. And I was like, this is that world for sure.
It is, yeah. And to the point where they're like, anybody who has a male.
Oh right, they send all the men away from the abbey.
Yeah,
she's
because
like,
they're getting people
because
pregnant.
they're getting people pregnant. She's like, sorry to everyone who has little boy children. It's not their fault. They were born male.
Yeah, it's not their
But
fault.
they have to leave now.
Yeah, she's like, bye. So
Once again, we love individual men and hate the patriarchy.
to go back to July spread the word, man grown in a woman's garden.
Which they would have been, but she sent them away. Maybe she should have kept them. She could have like grown up her own.
Oh my
like,
god,
maybe.
that would have been like the perfect like anchor of the matriarchy if we had male.
Ambassadors.
Yes! Yes!
Manbassadors.
That's what we need!
This book was so fun.
So
good. And yeah, I don't know. I hope we can get Lauren Groff to do it with us sometime.
That would be so amazing. I feel like she would really like
I
us.
think she'd be into it.
Maybe one day we'll get Lauren Groff. In the meantime, read The Matrix.
Also,
It's so good.
So
Fates
good.
and Furies is really
And,
great.
I mean, all of her books are so good.
Florida. Yep, they're all good. This was the September episode of Spread the Word.
Matrix!
We loved it. We highly recommend it.
Lauren Groff is a goddess and an
goddess.
idol.
Yep.
You had the talk. Give your reasons.
Let me tell.
She hates
Oh
it.
my god.
Also, there's this hair flying
Everywhere.
Everywhere. It's the perfect video.
She's
Good
like,
night.